Whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Don't move.
Wait, I don't...
So you've come at last.
Easy. Let me turn around. Oh my God, Mother, what has happened to you?
Who are you?
What? But, Mother!
Who are you?
It's me, Louis, your son.
No, you lie. You won't catch me out like that. Louis isn't here. He obeys his mother. He would never have come here.
Mother, I don't know what you've been through, but lower your arm, please.
You think I was born yesterday, do you? But it won't work.
I'm begging you.
One day you will fall.
Mother!
Why are you here?
I'm here to help you. You have nothing to fear.
If only it were so simple. You are evil incarnate. Every word that comes out of your mouth is sharper than a razor blade.
I don't wish you any harm. Really, Mother. It's me, Louis.
Don't speak to me about him. You will never get him.
Mother, stop torturing yourself. It really is me, Louis. How can I convince you?
If you really are who you say you are, what was the saying I taught you?
You've been telling it to me since I was 3 years old, Mother. How could I ever forget it? Always keep your mind logical. And open.
You knew it. You are smart. You're getting me muddled up. Tell me, rather, whose place were we at when I told you I was coming here?
Mother, I really am your son. You can't trick me. We were in Paris. We were investigating an art dealer.
His name?
I just told you, you can't trick me. His name was von Borchert.
My God, everything is lost then. I refuse to believe it's really you, Louis. Otherwise, all this would be for nothing.
Mother, I don't know what happened to you, but don't worry. Everything is going to be fine. I'm here for you and...
No! I ordered you not to come with me.
I received a letter and Lord Mortimer informed me of your disappearance. So I took the...
No! 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 It's not true. It's a nightmare. Don't tell me that. Have you spoken to him?
Oh, shit. She's completely panicked because I spoke to Mortimer. It seems she's afraid of what he might have said to me about her.
Did he speak to you?
Don't believe it. I thought I'd meet him the moment I arrived, given the situation. But not at all. He didn't even bother to meet me in person.
I imagine that Elizabeth was still here. Very well. Logical and open, Louis. Since you arrived on the island, has anything strange happened to you?
Depends on what you mean by strange. Do you want to tell me about your relationship with Elizabeth Adams?
Louis, I don't know what you found out, but just know that I did everything I could to help her.
I'm sure you did, Mother. I'm not judging you.
You know, what she had to put up with was slowly gnawing away at her. Now shut up and listen to me. We might still have a chance. Something of utmost importance is going to play out right here.
What are you talking about?
A conference, Louis. I should think all Mortimer's guests have arrived by now, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Since this morning.
Perfect. The conference will be able to begin. You will attend this conference, and you must find out what Mortimer is up to. Don't trust him, Louis. Understood? Louis, I made a mistake by coming here. We are in the lion's den.
What do you mean?
Mortimer, Holm, their guests. Watch what happens. Do you think it's normal that the representatives of the most powerful nations are here all on their own without anyone else? On an island in the middle of nowhere in total secrecy?
No, not really, but...
Louis! They shape the world. They manipulate us. Everything is decided here and now. They create and break states, provoke wars, destitute governments, or decide who will be their leaders. Open your eyes! Nothing is impossible for them. They are capable of reaching everyone, wherever they may be. Through high society banquets, they model the future of us all. And it isn't at all an issue for them.
And? What do you propose?
It's time to act, my son. You will go to this conference, and from the inside, you'll do everything you can to prevent Mortimer's plan from going ahead smoothly. We can talk later. I'll explain everything.
But why?
Do as I say, Louis. It's of the utmost importance. Beware of Mortimer. He won't let anything stand in his way.
You promised me that after...
Yes, after. Go now.
Yes, Mother, I'm going. One more thing, Mother. Emily Hillsborough, Emma's sister, came to this island looking for her sister. She probably won't hesitate to take revenge and...
It's the signal that the conference is starting, Louis. Don't be concerned about the Duchess. She's the last of our worries.
Golden elixir. Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near, his brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything. There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
respect to any other
Totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it.
That does seem easy. I am astonished, my dear.
Must hope that you put on your best be sensitive. Yes.
Amber.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry at being spoken to.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure?
But with respect to any other character, I cannot imagine.
By all that I have ever read, I'm convinced that it is very common indeed. Your plan is a good one.
She's not acting by design, is she?
Not as you represent it.
But with respect to any other leading characteristic, I do not imagine
By all that I have ever read, I'm convinced that it is very common indeed.
Not help answering her, but she said
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure?
What frightens you so much about him?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering.
Hurry up.
She said he seemed
He's waiting for you.
But it is not sound. No, it is not sound.
That does seem
Your
easy.
conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
I am
Are you quite
astonished,
sure?
my dear.
Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry at being spoken to.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry at being spoken to.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture
I am astonished, my dear.
All that I have ever read, I'm convinced that it is very common indeed.
Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly, but what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well. Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Louis, let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world. The concept of royalty is from bygone times. It is time to lead the way to democracy. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Blast it, Mother. You didn't know about everything. His project is commendable. Why tell me to beware? Could you have gotten it wrong?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. That makes no sense at all.
My friends, I propose we get started. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur. I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? But I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France, free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
If I were you, Senor Godoy, I would think twice before stirring up a scandal.
I beg your pardon?
Given the size of your colonies, you won't be able to keep them for long. A number of countries are eyeing them as we speak. The United States would have no trouble taking them. For all intents and purposes, you have no army in place. By wanting to keep everything, you risk losing it all, especially your colonies in South America, which are far more valuable to you.
That is indeed the danger, Duke Manuel. If it comes to war over Louisiana, you will lose. And probably a good deal more than you now imagine.
Young man, you are indeed a dark horse, aren't you?
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare you!
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory. I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
As for me, I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God, William. What is this I hear about you reinforcing military power in Louisiana? I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington, the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Are you really going to sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those weapons. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
By going through France, Spain won't suspect that it's you who's going to take possession of Louisiana. They'll even believe that France will be a protective buffer between itself in California and you on the East Coast. If Senor Godoy was afraid that you might take the territory by force, now he is reassured. You would never attack France.
But why didn't you tell me before?
So, Home doesn't see it coming. But by the time it dawns on Senor Godoy, it'll be too late because he'll realize that he's just lost all the North American continent. We all know that you won't stop once the path is cleared before you.
What do you mean?
You see, Monsieur Peru, it's very likely that once Louisiana becomes American, President Washington will push out even more and take the West Coast.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
One step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Louis, if you have a minute, I would like to ask a favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can I be of help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence. So, I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Senor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
Lord Mortimer, you're not telling me everything.
Let's say I wouldn't disapprove if the Right Honorable, though nonetheless choleric, Duke Manuel put you in his bad books. If it could motivate him to declare war on France, it would greatly serve our interests.
War? What do you mean?
I told you before the conference. The more we distract Spain from the Americas, the less it will have an eye on Louisiana.
But all the same, we're talking about a war in Europe.
Don't worry. That's why Mr. Bonaparte is with us. I am convinced we'll be perfectly capable of managing the conflict. And Senor Godoy is not a great soldier. He will not commit Spain to a long war that he won't be capable of managing.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest afterwards. Big day tomorrow.
aren't you afraid our projects for Italy may be discovered before we... Oh, please excuse us, Louis, but I need to speak with Lord Mortimer in private.
No. What do you want, Louis?
I'm going to have a word with Duke Manuel, but you know him better than I do, I believe.
Yes. Avoid any marks of respect and protocol pertaining to his rank. He's not fond of courtly manners.
Thank you for the advice, my lord. I shall be leaving you.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
Great Work of the Soul by S. Madone. Pure alchemy is a thought, an art that is performed on the matter of the soul. Great alchemists work to transform and perfect the latter by a series of processes known as the Great Work. There are 4 phases to attain the ultimate in spiritual fulfillment. The human soul must descend, be corrupt, in order to become decomposed. It's something like what I felt when I think of what I've found out about my mother. Thus ends the great work. The incarnation of the purified spirit, the elevation of the soul, now become perfect. Its resurrection, thanks to the action of the alchemist. Except if the alchemist has bad intentions, then it's called manipulation. The soul broken up must be purified by the alchemist. Nice program. The soul must be transformed in order to attain sublimation by the recombination of the alchemist. It's tempting. Very metaphorical as occult theories go. The human spirit being the prima materia of the alchemist. A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
golden elixir.
The Great Work of the Soul by S. Madone. Pure alchemy is a thought, an art that is performed on the matter of the soul. Great alchemists work to transform and perfect the latter by a series of processes known as the Great Work. There are 4 phases to attain the ultimate in spiritual fulfillment. Very metaphorical as occult theories go, the human spirit being the prima materia of the alchemist. A chest locked with a 4-letter code, surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Amber.
Amber crystals.
Dante's paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays. A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart. Hey, Peru's name tag's fallen off, and his door's ajar.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte. My dearest son.
The Beaucaire dinner. It hasn't been signed yet, but there's a letter with it. So, Bonaparte is going to publish a book that he didn't write. That crafty little rascal.
a beautiful weapon. A lovely damask blade. A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier. Pattern with 4 circles. Dear Monsieur Peru, I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later. Dear Monsieur Peru, I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Leave me, Deriche. I don't feel like talking.
Your door was ajar, and well, given the state of your room, I was worried.
It's none of your business.
Very well. I'll leave you then. See you tomorrow, monsieur.
I asked you to leave me alone. I asked you to leave me alone.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte. Amber.
My dear Napoleon,
A drachma. Duke Manuel Godoy. President George Washington.
my dear George.
Locked. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Locked. The President's personal reserve of laudanum, and judging by the quantity, he can't go without it. Ah, there's also a letter.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
Oh, now wait a minute. Yes, I remember now. I think I saw him in the garden.
In the garden? No, you must be mistaken. I've just come from there. I would have seen him.
Oh, I must have seen someone else then.
Most certainly. Oh, well, he's bound to turn up at some point. I'll wait.
Impossible to get through with him glued in front of the door. Duke Manuel Godoy.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
I've searched all over the manor, but I can't find him.
One thing's for sure, Monsieur de Richet. He's neither in his room nor on this floor. I've just looked all over.
I propose we both look for him. The first to find him tells the Duke that the other is also looking for him. Agreed?
Perfect. Let's do that. I shall have a look in the library. If you find the Duke before me, tell him I want to speak to him.
Yes. Let's proceed as you say.
Thank you, Monsieur de Richet.
Right. Now be a good boy and go look somewhere else. Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke. Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Fragment of amber.
Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke. Hey, it looks like someone slipped something in the back here. It's a letter. Let's see what it says. It reeks of perfume, and it's written in Spanish. Godoy, you really are a little devil. So, let's see what it says. It seems that the Queen isn't the only one enjoying the Lord Duke's favors. If the Queen found out, it would cost him dearly. I'll keep it with me. You never know. Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
A Chinese coin.
Duke Manuel?
Well, well. Monsieur de Richet, I was not expecting you. I am not in the mood, sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Peru has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed, I was warned. I knew what to expect. For God's sake, why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might, well, turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries just waiting for the word to pounce. Really, I do not see why you choose Mortimer.
Oh, it's really quite simple, you know. Whose place are we at? Who can manage to bring together so many influential figures under the same roof?
Technically, Sir Gregory brought more guests than Mortimer.
Yes, but in whose name? Who organized the party, Senor Godoy? Who pays the bills? And you are forgetting something fundamental. Who has the biggest army nowadays?
Yes.
There's no shame in admitting that France is militarily superior to you. That's why you're considering joining forces with other European countries in order to confront us.
I agree that Mortimer does have some powerful assets. Tell me, do you really believe Spain has any interest in ceding Louisiana to France?
My Lord Duke, you know as well as I do that our common enemy is and will always be England. I don't believe you look favorably at its embargo on France. Its ships cross the Atlantic Ocean right up to your coastline.
Do not even mention it. If those tea drinkers try anything in these waters, I will send the whole of the Spanish fleet to calm them down. Tell me one last thing. What would I gain from all this?
If you continue with home, our two countries will become rivals. It could turn into war. Who knows?
It is likely, even.
A war, Duke Manuel. On our own territories. Do you really see yourself committing the Kingdom of Spain to an armed conflict against France? Can you imagine the financial investment required, not to mention the loss of lives and dishonor at the slightest defeat? Do you see yourself being the man responsible for that?
No, but you are the one who's pushing me into it, you damned Frenchman!
I'm not pushing you into anything, Duke Manuel. If you are a man of the future and of progress, as I'm given to believe, you will know how much suffering a war would bring.
Come on, you fool, give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Monsieur, I am astounded. I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you You can count on my vote when the time comes. However, I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke. You can count on me. Lord Mortimer will be delighted to hear the news.
I hope you know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke. See you tomorrow.
Well, that's one thing out of the way.
The only thing left to do is wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner. President George Washington. Monseigneur His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Huh, that's me.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here. What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
That's not what I said.
Ah, by the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why's that?
Well, you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind, although you would have everything to gain by it.
There's no point trying to persuade me. Don't hold it against me.
Of course not, silly. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course, Emily.
Admit, though, that it does make you think. There's still time, you know. Join us before it's too late.
Unfortunately, my word is my bond. I don't want to leave Lord Mortimer in the lurch.
Very well, as you wish. It's up to you to decide.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
Well, I should imagine you're still shaken. I promise to shed light on my mother's circumstances as soon as possible.
There's not much to shed light on. What your mother did is inexcusable. She won the trust of my sister in order to more easily betray her. She didn't do anything to her. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Come, Louis.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him. He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough, why isn't she here?
She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her.
What are we going to do about Washington?
He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king.
Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing: to keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim.
He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Emily? Emily? Are you there?
Sir, the conference is about to begin. You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me assure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
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 And you, Luke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more complicated and it...
Goodbye.
Calm, Gregory. Don't try to impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest. You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
Well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my attention, I declare war on France.
What? What is he doing?
If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
For, of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My Lord Duke this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, Ariel.
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques.
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Wait!
De Richet, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man!
Monsieur, I know I don't really know you, but you seem like a decent person.
I have done so many horrible things!
You blame yourself, I can see that. Everything's not lost.
I don't want to do bad things anymore.
You can take control of yourself again. You can fix whatever it is you've done.
Do you really believe that?
Of course, Jacques. You'll have all the time you need. I'm sure we can work things out.
But you don't know him.
Let's stay united, Jack. He's nothing without us.
Really?
Trust me.
Come on, Jacques. Stop now, before it gets any worse. Give me the gun. Please.
I wasn't gonna fire at anyone, you know.
I know.
I don't want him to talk to me.
Don't worry, you're safe now, Jacques.
Monsieur Peru, you could have seriously hurt someone if Monsieur de Richet here hadn't stopped you. Your behavior is unacceptable. You would do better to go and rest in your apartment. My friends, we shall continue the conference later. I would like to apologize for the inexcusable behavior of my guest. We all need to recover from all of this excitement. Take the rest of the day off.
This is like a bad dream. For what reason?
That makes no sense at
I
all.
don't